Hey guys, and welcome back for another quick Tuesday video. Today I'm going to be doing a tips and tricks video. So I wanted to do a quick intro for you guys just because I haven't done a video like this before. So if you do enjoy the video, I would love it if you share it with all your friends and across all the platforms and the sewing groups and everything, because I really want to get all these tips and tricks out so that, you know, we can make other people's lives easier also. So if you do enjoy this video and you're not already, I would love it if you subscribed and hit that notification bell to be alerted of new and future tutorials. I post every Tuesday and Friday, and I just want to say thank you again to all of my subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you enjoy this video. So my first tip would be my lint roller. I always have that close at hand when I'm finishing my projects or during it, whether you're working with little pieces of thread or a fluffy fabric. That really helps to clean up the work surface super quick, and then you can just rip off a piece and throw it right in the garbage. Next are those pattern pieces that weren't stored very nicely and are a little too wrinkly. So you can take a pressing cloth and just apply a little bit of heat and you will have a perfectly flat pattern piece. If you don't have any of those fancy clips or you need some more of them, then you can definitely check around your house. I like to either use binder clips, or you can even use these little hair clips. You can get a ton in a box also if you go over to the beauty supply or your stationery store. And especially with those fabrics like vinyl and cork, that is a perfect use for them. And while you have those binder clips out, I like to use them for zipper storage. So if you wanted to organize them by color or size, you can easily clip them all together at the top and then hang them on a pegboard, nicely displayed. And with your bigger zippers, you can use the bigger binder clips, which are a lot stronger and will hold the weight of your larger zippers. And you can easily yank on the zipper and pull it right out of the binder clip when you need it. Now this tip is a safety tip when you are using your rotary cutter to keep your hands away from that very, very dangerous blade. You can easily snip off a good chunk of your finger if you're not careful. But I found this accessible handlebar. I actually found this over at the thrift store, but you can easily buy this at a accessible store and it will suction itself right onto your large rulers and keeps your hand nice and high and out of the way, so you don't have any risk of snipping off a piece of your finger. Next is to create perfect hems on your project. Now you can actually buy something along these lines, but you can just easily create this on your own. So I'm just going to take a piece of cardstock or cardboard and I'll draw out a few different measurements, ones that I use most often, and then I can easily just place that on my fabric and then fold the fabric over top, lining up the edge with that measurement, and then you can iron directly onto it so that you can have a perfect hem every time. So next I have a tip for pattern making. A lot of times you will get patterns that actually don't include the seam allowance. So to easily draw on your own seam allowance, I would like to take two pencils. I'll use a rubber band and secure them together, and then I can easily trace around my pattern piece and I'll have a perfect 1/4 inch measurement all the way around, and then I can easily cut it out, and then I have my seam allowances added straight to it. Now you can easily buy some very expensive pattern weights, but if you're like me and you're a little bit cheap, then go over to the hardware store and get these 3262 large washers. They are perfect to hold your pattern pieces in place, and you can cut around them and they work just as good. So if you have a hard time seeing the measurements on your sewing machine, then a great tip is to get a big piece of masking tape and then draw on the masking tape your own measurements. So the ones that you use the most. I'm going to draw a 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch, and 3/4 inch. I'm going to do it in different colors so that I know which color goes with which measurement. I'm then going to snip off a little piece of the masking tape where it would go under the presser foot, so it's not in the way of your feed dogs. And then you can place that right on your machine, nice and close, and then you will have that nice long measurement and you don't have any issues seeing it. And I'm just going to quickly write out my measurements so that I know what it is. So if you're a beginner or your kids are learning how to sew, it is very obvious for them and they can easily just put their fabric right up against the measurement that they need. So another one of my pro tips is my measuring tape. I will always have one measuring tape that is designated just for my table. And it can be a little tricky when you're trying to measure things out. So what I like to do is just tape a measuring tape to my table. Now for demonstration purposes, I'm going to be doing it in the middle of my table, but I actually have measuring tape right close to my body, right along the edge of my table, so I can easily just bring the fabric straight to it, just like they do at the craft store. It's so much easier and you don't need that third hand. Next, I'm going to show you how to assemble these zippers. I did just show a video of me opening my package that I got from Pack Canna, that I got these zippers. So people asked me how to add the zipper pulls on. So I found this great hack. It is to use a fork, and this is sort of acting like my third hand. I'm going to slip my zipper pull right in between the little tangs. I'm going to snip off the edge of my zipper so it's nice and level. I'll rip it apart and then I can easily put both sides at the same time and they will evenly insert into the zipper pull. I absolutely love this hack. Next, I'm just going to show you how I use my stitch ripper. Now, as you can see, there is a little red ball at the end of your stitch ripper. If you're wondering why that is, you're actually supposed to place that towards the nice part of your fabric. And you place it in between the fabric, and all you do is you just push it through your stitches. So instead of just picking out your stitches, you easily just slide it down the seam and it cuts all of the stitches at once and you don't stab your fabric. And then I'll use that lint roller to get those threads that are stuck inside the fabric. So that actually works for that also. And my last tip is poking corners. I like to use either knitting needles or the little sticks that you get in a bag of stuffing. So when you do flip your projects, you can't get that corner as well as you would like to with your fingers. So just use a knitting needle, just stick it right in there and you get a perfect corner every time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any of your own tips and tricks, I would love it if you guys shared it in the comments below so that everyone else can learn all these new tricks, and then maybe I will feature it in the next tips and tricks videos. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye guys.